All right, Assalamu alaikum. Uh, Today or now I will talk about the male reproductive system. Actually أنا اتفقت مع الدكتور جمال إنه يعطيكوا in addition to the pelvic wall يعطيكوا perineum in addition to the female reproductive system. وأنا بكمل البقية من ناحية histology ومن ناحية development. Okay, the male reproductive system, it consists of the primary organs, which are two testicles that produce spermatocytes, and testosterone, which is the hormone responsible for the maleness in the male. And then we have a ductal system composed of ductili efferents, epididymis, vas deferens. We have two exocrine glands, اللي هم seminal vesicles, well, prostate, and then we have the penis and the bulbourethral gland. The testicles are actually the main masculine organs in the male, and they are, of course, they secrete spermatocytes because they have the stem cell, what you call the spermatogonium, that are present in the tubule system that is present over there. We call it the seminiferous tubules. And initially, the testicles arise or develop in the abdominal cavity. And gradually, and during the last week of pregnancy, they descend through the inguinal canal into the pouch of skin outside the body. We call it the scrotum. So if they do not descend, that is one of the congenital abnormalities, and you have the testis kept in the abdominal wall. And of course, if it stays over there till the age of puberty, that will lead to infertility because spermatogenesis occur at a lower temperature than the body. And it is covered by three coverings, which arise from the abdominal cavity. That is the tunica vaginalis and the muscular coat and the fibrous coat, or the tunica albuginea. All right, the testicle, as I said, they are covered by this layer, اللي هم tunica vaginalis and tunica albuginea. From these covering layers, as usual, there arise septi that divide the organ into lobules. And within each lobule, we have the seminiferous tubule, which contain the stem cell to produce spermatocytes. So here, diagrammatically, as you can see, you see the outer covering over here, tunica albuginea, tunica vaginalis. From that arise what you call septi. They divide it into different lobes. Within the lobes, we have those twisted lobules. We call them the seminiferous tubule. And these seminiferous tubule, they produce spermatocytes. And in a very similar fashion to other structural organs, for example, in the kidney, you have the functional organs, and then finally the urine pass into ductal system. Several thousand millions of ductal tubule converge together to form what you call the minor calyces, then major calyces, وهكذا. إذا من كل seminiferous tubule بيطلع عندي duct، وبالآخر بيكونوا ما يسمى الريتيتستس. الريتيتستس يعني هي الكولكشن تاعت التبيولز اللي اجوا من الديفرنت لوبيولز تاعت التستيكل. And finally they create to a single tube اللي راح نحكي عنه اللي هو الابيديدمس. والابيديدمس هو عباره عن twisted tubule present outside the testicle within the scrotal sac, and it contains the reserve spermatocytes that undergo the process of capacitation. And after that, this duct continued at the spermatocoel. So here we have a diagrammatic representation. We have the different lobules of the testicle. Within each lobule, we have what you call the seminiferous tubule. They form what you call this retitestis over here. And eventually, all these ducts converge together to form a single duct. We call it the epididymis, where spermatocytes are stored because the process of spermatogenesis is continuous from puberty unto death. And every day there are produced millions and millions of spermatocytes that are going to be stored within the epididymis to undergo the process of capacitation. capacitation here to gain the whip movement of the tail of the spermatocyte to enable it to swim and reach the side where the oocyte is present, all right? And of course, you know the molecular aspect. We have the tubulin, microtubule over there, the tubulin that polymerize to produce this whip movement. All right, this is what I said before. All right, now we have a pouch of muscle in the smooth type of muscle that is present in the scrotal sac, and it's called dartos muscle. Now, this dartos muscle, the function of it is to shrink the scrotal sac or bring it farther away from the body according to the temperature. Yani in winter, it shrinks, bring it closer to the abdominal cavity, and this is just to regulate the temperature. As I said, spermatogenesis occurs at a lower temperature than the body. Now, the analogous muscle to that is the cremaster muscle. The cremaster muscle, another type of smooth muscle that is present around the spermatic cord. So the spermatic cord also shrink and extend away from the abdominal cavity, just like the, what you call the dartos muscle. All right, the testicle, as I said, covered with 3 layers, tunica vaginalis, and this is from the peritoneal membrane, tunica albuginea, which is a collagenous fibrous type. It is from the peritoneal also membrane, and the inner layer, which is tunica vasculosa, واللي عبارة عن connective tissue, and that got lots of blood vessels that enter and supply the testicles. All right, so here is diagrammatic representation of the histology of the testicle. So here we have the tunica albuginea, clear, smooth muscle. Then we have the different lobes, as you can see, and you can see this rounded structure over here. Each one is what you call the seminiferous tubule. So here is one seminiferous tubule, here is another, and here is a third one. So you see there is a lumen, and we have this wall of the seminiferous tubule. هالدوتس هذول النقاط اللي انتم بتشوفوها هي بكل بساطة the developing spermatocytes in different stages, as we will explain in a while. All right, this is higher magnification of the same. So initially what we have spermatogonia. Spermatogonia are the stem cells that the male are born with, and they are activated due to follicular stimulating hormone at puberty. And from that time onward, they produce spermatocytes unto death. وهذا هو الفرق بين الميل والفيميل. إذا الميل, even an 80-year-old male, إذا كانت صحته مناسبة, is capable of producing spermatocytes. وطبعا أنتم بتشوفوا عندنا في مجتمعاتنا الختيارية اللي عمره 70 سنة بيتجوز وبيخلف. يعني that is, so there will be a difference between the male and the female. All right. So you see the first one is the spermatogonia. The spermatogonia are small size, and they are dense because they are stem cell, and they are present close to the basal membrane, and then they give rise to the primary spermatocytes. Primary spermatocytes are larger in size than the spermatogonia, and these are easily identified in a histological section because their life cycle continues for over 24 hours, so you can see them. Then they give rise to what you call secondary spermatocytes. Secondary spermatocytes are rarely seen because their lifespan is very short, in a few hours. So from primary spermatocyte, they go into secondary, and very fast they develop into the second phase, what you call the spermatid. Spermatid اللي هو الارrow shape like of the spermatocyte. هو عبارة عن بصير عندي condensation of the nucleus and the present on the head, and the present like an arrow, and then the formation of the tail. طبعا الhead that contain the nucleus, and over the head we have the acrosome. الacrosomal part اللي هو الcovering part اللي بيلتحم مع هالاوتر وول تاع الاوسايت. هي ليست physical penetration وإنما fusion of the component of the acrosome with the zona palisoida of the oocyte وبصير entry of the nucleus. طبعا التيل بارت مثل ما انتم بتعرفوا في عندي الميدل بارت وهناك في عندي المايكروتيبيولز والمايكروتيبيول الpolymerization of these tubulin units produce the whip movement and that enable the spermatocyte to swim comparative to its size a very long distance to reach the oocyte. طبعا هنا description اللي حكيناهم اللي هم what are the spermatogonia of two types, spermatogonia A or spermatogonia B. Both of them initially are capable of producing primary spermatocytes. Either the spermatogenesis is influenced by the follicular stimulating hormone and of course the luteinizing hormone, and of course in male the testosterone is produced by the Leydig cell. هلا راح نشوف بعد شوية the Leydig cells that are present in the extracellular matrix. All right, so here a description, as I said, to the primary spermatocytes and secondary spermatocytes. They are larger than spermatogonia. Their life cycle over 22 days. I think I made a mistake earlier. I said 24 hours. All right. Okay, I correct that. And then the secondary spermatocytes, they had a very short lifespan, few hours, and that is why they undergo the, of course, the second mitotic division. ومن ثم they form what you call the spermatid. The spermatid اللي هو arrow-shaped type of the spermatocytes. وطبعا the spermatozoa is formed of the head, and then the head contains the nucleus and the acrosome. وهذه diagrammatic representation of the development of the spermatogonia right from the basal lamina to give the primary spermatocyte, to give the secondary, and finally the spermatid. طبعا you come across another structural element in the testis, in the seminal tubule اللي احنا بنسميها السيرتولي cell. The Sertoli cells are very large type of cell. They extend from the basal portion of the seminiferous tubule to the lumen, and they give supportive function. Now, الفانكشن تاعهم ايش هو؟ هو بكل بساطة these Sertoli cells, they have transversal processes, and these transversal processes they meet together from one Sertoli cell to the other Sertoli cell, and via junctional complexes. These junctional complexes actually constitute a checkpoint to see if the spermatocytes or the developing spermatocytes are developing normally. So if they notice any spermatocyte that is not developing normally, they do not pass that spermatocytes through that barrier. All right? And then, of course, these spermatocytes are going to be absorbed, remember, by the stereocilia that is present in the reproductive system that has got an absorptive function. All right, so this is a picture of the spermatocyte. We have the head, the acrosome, and the neck, and the middle portion we have the, what you call the microtubule, and the tail piece or the end piece. All right, the tail, we call it the axonema. It's the generic time for the arrangement of the microtubule. وهذا طبعا similar structure مثل ما شفنا بالسيليا وهذا structure. طبعا احنا بنعرف انه الفول spermatogenic cycle يعني من الانيشال development من الليفل of spermatogonia حتى يصير عندي mature spermatocyte, it takes about 64 to 72 days. All right. So that's why we have what you call a storage area in the epididymis. السبتوري سيل طبعا حكيت هذا اللي شرحته هي موجود في هذه السلايد بامكانكم ترجعوا لي اياها. In the interstitial tissue we have what you call the Leydig cell. إذا the Leydig cell موجودين ضمن interstitial cell, and as you can see in this diagram إذا ما بين السمريفرس tubule we have this cluster of cells. إذا we have cluster يعني مجموعة من الخلايا بتكون موجودة. هذا هو المقصود في الكلستر، موجودة ما بين seminiferous tubule. الفانكشنال aspect تبعهم هو reproduction of testosterone. طبعا testosterone is the driving force, as you will see, in the development of the reproductive system to develop a male characteristic. And of course, it gives us the secondary male characteristic, growth of hair, the hoarseness of the voice, the bulk of the muscle, all these. Now, from that point onward, as I said, from the retitestis, اللي هي الcollection تاعت tubal system from different seminiferous tubule, بتصير عندي ductal system. وهالductal system هذا من الretitestis to the epididymis to the spermatocode. All right? Now, الهيستولوجي تاعه إذا هو بكل بساطة they are lined by mucosa مكونة من low columnar type of epithelium with the presence of what you call stereocilia. And then, of course, we have the middle layer اللي هي مكونة من المصل اللي هي عبارة عن smooth muscle, and we have the outer layer. طبعا during the process of the conduction of the spermatocytes, during the process of ejaculation, يصير في عندي ما يسمى peristaltic contraction of the smooth muscle to carry out the propulsion of the spermatocytes further into the prostate. As I said before, they reach the prostate and mix with the prostatic secretion and also the secretion that coming from seminal vesicle, and they are ejaculated into the prostatic urethra. Now, the arteries, they supplying the testicle from the external internal epithelial artery, but the substance of the testis is supplied from the abdominal aorta. لأنه remember, التستس arise in the abdomen. طبعا هذه صورة من الدكتال سيستم. بنشوف الابيديديمس، عندي اليومن، عندي ميوكوزا. We have columnar type of cell, ciliated, of course, stereocilia, and then we have the smooth muscle and over here, and the outer tunica layer of connective tissue. A vast difference, ductal efference, again, the same structure. And then you come to see, for example, this is the spermatocord. You can see the lumen, we have see the mucosa, but what we see over here is a very thick muscular layer to provide the peristaltic movement required to propel the spermatocytes further into the prostate. And this is here a higher magnification of the mucosa with the stereocilia. طبعا السبرماتوكود هو عبارة عن vast difference that carry the sperm. Along with that, we have arteries, veins, lymphatics, nerve, and of course, all of them are within a single tube, what you call it, the cord, surrounded by a connective tissue layer. The arteries, they are the internal and external spermatic, and the artery to the ductus deferens. We have 3 or 4 veins which pass along the linguatudinal canal, enter the abdomen through the abdominal inguinal ring. طبعا السبرماتوكود هو كلياته بيدخل بنفس الطريقة اللي طلعت منها التستيكل. إذا بروح على inguinal canal and enter into the abdominal cavity and to the prostate. طبعا venous drainage via the left renal vein. طبعا clinically you hear about varicosities. الvaricosities هم بالحقيقة varicose veins، هو نفس المبدأ. varicose veins اللي موجودين في الليج أو موجودين anywhere else، نفس المبدأ. الvein has got a very weak wall, few smooth muscle in comparison to the artery. So, and veins have good valves. So in case there is we have an incompetent valve حصل لها damage، إذا بده يصير في عندي عملية تجمع للدم ضمن الفين، بصير له dilatation، وطبعا presence of engorged blood, dilated blood vessel that will lead to the increase in the temperature, and eventually it could lead to low fertility in the male. Regarding the accessory reproductive organ, we have the seminal vesicle, the prostate, and the bulbourethric. The prostatic gland The prostate gland is a tubulo-alveolar gland that is present at the neck of the bladder. And of course, it's got a very dense fibromuscular stroma. And within the stroma, we have a glandular tissue that produce this prostatic portion of the seminal fluid اللي هي تكون تقريبا 30% منه, وطبعا تحتوي على fibrinolytic enzyme that liquefies the semen وacid phosphatase. All right. Now, the prostate, which is, as I said, present at the neck of the urinary bladder, it could undergo hypertrophic changes in old men, and that will lead to pressure on the prostatic urethra in the middle of it, and that could lead to frequency initially of urine, and eventually it could lead to partial or complete obstruction of the urine. Now, histological section of the prostate, you see rich fibromuscular stroma, and within that we have the tubulo-alveolar type of gland that secretes the prostatic portion of the seminal fluid. And of course, you can see over here with higher magnification the glandular tissue of the prostate gland. Now, in older age, if prostatic hypertrophic changes occur, there appear certain precipitates, some amyloid structure, unspecified, but these are, we call them corpora amyloica. Even the appearance of corpora amyloica occur with age and older age, and it coincides with prostatic hypertrophy. There could be a connection. And these deposits of corpora amyloica could undergo further calcification. يعني هذه البروسيس مثل ما بصير fibrosis anywhere in the body. If fibrosis occur, it leads to calcification. That occur in the cartilage, it occur in different parts of the body. So the same thing can occur within the prostate gland. Then, thing to remember, corpora amyloica is a sign of older prostate. And here in this diagram, you can see the presence of the prostate gland around the neck of the urinary bladder. If it enlarges, it pushes the lower portion of the urinary bladder up, and they form a part of the urinary bladder actually below the internal urethral orifice of the urinary bladder. Even there will be always remnant of urine after urination, and that leads to dribbling of urine in older men. The seminal vesicle, they are a pouch membrane. They are present in the superior posterior aspect of the urinary bladder, and of course they show branch type of anastomosing fold, and the epithelium is columnar seed stratified, and of course these contribute to the production of seminal fluid, which constitute up to 60% of the volume of the seminal fluid, and their contents actually contain acidophilic structure. They contain the fructose for the energy of the spermatocytes. It is a source of energy. They produce spermogulum, which helps at the regulation of the motility, and they could suppress the immune function in female genital tract, because some female immune system recognize the spermatocytes as a foreign body, and they attack the spermatocytes. And this is a type of infertility in female. So the secretion of seminal vesicle could counteract that action of the immune system in the female. The penis is the external reproductive organ, and it's made of three corpora, what you call corpora cavernosa and corpora cavernosum. Corpora spongiosum cavernosa, from the name, they form cave-like structure, very rich blood supply, and due to stimulation, there will be increased blood supply, fill up the arteries that are present in caveous structure, and lead to, of course, erection. بينما the spongiosum, through which the urethra pass, and of course, the process I must explain over here. إنه خلينا نحكي عن erectile function. مثل ما حكيت عن الفانكشن of nitric oxide in the production of cyclic GMP that lead to vasodilation and counteract the renin-angiotensin mechanism in the renal system. This substance is secreted everywhere, every tissue in the body. In the nervous system, it leads to communication between neurons, etc. I don't want to go into detail, but regarding this, as I said, the same mechanism. So the production of nitric oxide from the enzyme lead to production of nitric oxide. The nitric oxide bind to guanylate cyclase that release cyclic GMP. Cyclic GMP relaxes smooth muscle. And of course, the cyclic GMP is further degraded by an enzyme phosphodiesterase. And the invention of Viagra based on this mechanism. Viagra inhibits the phosphodiesterase, يعني بمعنى a prolongation of the action of cyclic GMP. And here are actually some of my research on that smooth muscle of the neck of the urinary bladder. We see that the effect of Viagra lead to relaxation of the smooth muscle. So relaxation of the smooth muscle in different parts of the body. All right, here's some congenital deformities. طبعا ممكن يصير في عندي arrest of union in the midline, and this is what you call hypospadias. يعني بمعنى هذا بيكون فتحة اليوريثرا ليس على الجلاند وإنما before the gland. All right, and this could be anterior mostly, and sometimes could be in the posterior aspect. The Cooper gland below the prostate and the secrete mucus for lubrication. That's it. So that ends up the lecture. Best of wishes. Thank you.